Welcome back to the Church on a Mission videos, and this week we're looking at discipleship, and today we're going to be looking at 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians is a letter in the New Testament, in the second half of the Bible, and it's written by a guy called Paul. And in the 11th chapter of 1 Corinthians, Paul writes this from verse 1. "Follow my example as I follow the example of Christ. I praise you for remembering me in everything and for holding on to the traditions just as I passed them on to you." So we're looking at kind of what it is to pass on what we know, to pass on the things in our lives and to pass on our lives ultimately to others in discipleship. Yeah. So when Paul writes this whole "follow my example as I follow Christ," what does he mean by that, and what does it look like for us?
I think, well, firstly, it's follow my example as I follow Christ. So we need to be following Christ and showing them how we follow Christ. So I think actually sharing how you spend time with God, teaching people how you pray or engage in any sort of spiritual disciplines, read the Bible, that kind of thing. So it's practical training, that kind of way. I think follow my example as well. It can be in all sorts of different things. So if you helping kids work on a Sunday and you're a teenager, then the children can be following your example. They'll be watching you, they'll be looking up to you. If you are a single person in your 40s or 50s, there will be younger people who are watching how you do singleness as well. There'll be, if you're married, there'll be younger married couples who you can invest in and who will be watching you. So I think there's all sorts of different aspects of life. If you've got a career, there'll be younger career people looking at how you how you demonstrate your faith in the workplace, or how you balance work and home. All of us have different skills that we can offer an example to other people who are going to need kind of mentoring and training in that area. So follow my example. Hey, this is the life I'm living. You have aspects of that in your life too. Why don't you follow my example? I'm going to show you and help you how to do it. That's great. I follow Christ.
That's great. And you was talking to me a little bit about like vulnerability in it and being honest with people. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, the disciples were very fortunate in that they had the perfect example of someone who was sinless and got it all perfect, whereas we are flawed and we don't always get it right. And so I think a part of kind of discipleship is showing people not just the shiny bits, but some of the bits that you wrestle with perhaps, and some of the areas of struggle in your life, or perhaps where you do get it wrong. And if you sin, what your response to sin is your sin as well. So showing people how to deal with the sin in their life. Actually this is, admitting your sin to them and showing them that you've confessed it and repented of it. So not just kind of putting on this perfect, I've got it all together, I'm a perfect Jesus follower, but showing people, come into my house when it's a complete mess and we've just had a massive argument and we're still working through it, and being kind of honest and vulnerable, giving people access to those kind of things. And even access in some of your doubts and the areas where you're wrestling with God, I think, as well. So saying, this is an area that I struggle with at the moment, or if they ask you a question that you don't know, just being honest and saying, I don't know, it's a really hard question, and empathizing with them in that.
I remember somebody saying once to me, a really good idea they gave me was invite opportunities for them to ask questions about you, and sort of have a kind of mentality of no question is off limits here. Just ask questions you want to ask, and I'm not going to share this with others, I'm not going to talk about this to other people, but I'm open for you to ask me any question you like here, and let's talk about it, whether I know the answer or not, whether wherever it goes, let's just have this conversation. I love that mentality of honesty and openness.
That is really helpful.
Yeah, that's great.